My brother tried to steal the house I bought with my own money, so I took everything he cared about instead. I, 31M, bought my first home 2 years ago. Solo. No co-signers, no help. I worked 3 jobs for 5 years. Nights, weekends, sleeping 4 hours a day. I missed birthdays. I missed holidays. But I finally did it. It's a small, 3-bedroom house with a backyard and a garage I turned into a music studio. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. My older brother, Nick, 35 male, never understood what hard work meant. He always floated from job to job, constantly figuring things out. He has a wife, Jenna, and 2 kids. Cute kids. I've always been a good uncle. But Nick, he's always had this superiority complex. Like, because he's older, he's entitled to more. When I bought my house, the first thing he said was, "Damn, must be nice to not have kids and responsibilities." Not, "Congrats." Not, "I'm proud of you." Just guilt. At the time, I brushed it off. I didn't know what was coming. A few months later, Nick's landlord raised his rent. He couldn't afford it. He called me in a panic, saying, "Bro, I just need a couple weeks to get back on my feet. Can we crash at your place? Just me, Jenna, and the kids?" I agreed. Family, right? They moved in, and that's when everything started to go sideways. Suddenly, my house wasn't my house anymore. They rearranged my living room. Jenna painted one of the kids' names on my guest bedroom wall without asking. Nick started parking in the garage, my studio. He'd say things like, "You don't even use it for real work anyway." I told them it was temporary. 2 weeks turned into 2 months. Then one day, I came home from work, and my key didn't work. Nick changed the locks. I knocked, furious. He opened the door like nothing was wrong and said, "We just needed to feel a little more secure. We've got kids, man." I was stunned. I told him he had 48 hours to leave. He laughed in my face. "You don't get it, do you? We've already changed the mail. Jenna registered the kids for school using this address. Legally, this is our residence now. Good luck getting us out." My own brother was squatting in my home. I called a lawyer. She told me that because they had established residency, I'd have to go through a formal eviction process, even though it was my house. It could take 60 to 90 days. If they contested it, even longer. I was furious, humiliated, trapped in my own generosity. But I wasn't going to just roll over. If Nick wanted to play dirty, so would I. I started gathering evidence, photos, voicemails, texts. I stopped paying for utilities, had them shut off. Then I posted a notice on the door. "This property is under legal review. Trespassing may result in criminal charges." I gave the school district a heads up that the address being used for enrollment was fraudulent. They dropped the kids from their rosters. But the final blow? I had a friend who worked in Child Protective Services. I anonymously submitted a report, not about abuse, but about unsafe living conditions. Moldy food, no hot water, a family living in a home without electricity. After CPS did the welfare check, everything collapsed fast. Jenna was livid. She screamed at Nick right there in the driveway, loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. "You said your brother gave us this house. You said you were handling it. You lied to me, again." Nick didn't defend himself. He just grabbed his duffel bag and left, literally. Left his wife and kids in the front yard and peeled off without a word. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't leave money. Nothing. I watched it happen from across the street in my car. Part of me wanted to be cruel and let them drown in the mess he created. But then I saw Jenna on the porch, clutching both kids, shaking, not with anger, but with panic. And for the first time, I realized something. She didn't know. She wasn't part of the scam. Nick had lied to her too. About the house, about the legality of living there, about everything. So I approached slowly, told her I'd give them a ride to a hotel. She didn't look me in the eyes, just nodded. Over the next few days, I helped her find a temporary place, quietly covered a few bills. Nothing big, just so the kids didn't suffer. Jenna apologized again and again, ashamed. I thought we were building something together. I didn't know he was just using you. She admitted Nick had always made big promises, but never followed through. That she'd stayed with him for the kids, and out of fear of being alone. She looked different now, tired, but clearer. We kept in touch. I helped her file for custody and separation. When Nick was served the papers, he didn't even contest it. He just ghosted everyone. Gone. Months passed. The kids started calling me uncle again. Jenna would drop them off, and we'd chat for a few minutes. Sometimes those minutes turned into coffee. Then lunch. Then nights talking about life, failure, healing, and how trust isn't a light switch. It's a slow build. There was no rush. But over time, something real started forming. No games, no lies. Just two broken people trying to move forward. Now, I live in the same house I nearly lost. Only it's warmer, full of laughter, music in the garage, paintings from the kids on the fridge. Nick hasn't come back. Part of me hopes he never does. But the rest of me? The rest of me is finally home. Not because of bricks or a mortgage, but because I built something honest. Something no one could take from me again.